If you have ever felt like healing was supposed to be peaceful and instead it broke you open, or if you've trusted someone with your pain only to be shamed, bypassed, or spiritually gaslit, this episode is for you. We're talking about the dark side of the healing world, where fake healers hide in plain sight, and why real transformation often starts in the mess and not the mantra. Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, where science meets spirituality and unravels the mysteries of the mind and the universe. I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin, a self-mastery mentor, business mentor, born intuitive medium, and licensed health provider with a knack for blending neuroscience with a touch of the cosmic. This radio show skips the small talk and dives straight into the big, impactful energies. You're in the right place if you're a growth-minded, science-loving, wellness enthusiast, or a spiritual seeker ready to kick limiting beliefs to the curb. I've got you covered, from self-mastery tips to deep dives into manifestation and the esoteric. Buckle up because we're about to upgrade your mind and master your life. Welcome to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio. Welcome back to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio, and I'm your host, Lindsay Goodwin. We are going to be talking about something that I feel is not being talked about enough, and I am here for educating you, helping you to be able to be in the best frequency within yourself, awakening that frequency within. And we are going to be talking about the truth behind what real healing is, as well as breaking patterns and spotting what I call fake healers. And really, what this means is there's a ton of fake energy out there that's trying to portray the image of love and light, which I cannot stand, the love and light culture, and also the divine feminine. And we are also going to talk about the goddess, divine goddess, and we could throw in the divine masculine in there as well. And not saying that everyone that is speaking of these areas that they're not aligned. I'm talking about people that are not aligned, which is a huge percentage of what you are seeing on social media. So again, this is not everybody. This is a sacred practice. It's not even a practice. It's an embodiment of who you've always been. It's just that you forgot with all of the bullshit in society. And so another thing I'm going to talk about is a lot of these healers, they know nothing about helping you to rewire your nervous system. And many of them talk about everything being all woo or woo woo. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a born intuitive medium, but also very scientific in what I do as well, and reading body language, subconscious mind therapies, really helping you to know that you're in a physical body as well. Your soul chose to incarnate into a physical experience. And so trying to bypass all of that and just be in the love and light culture, it's fake. It's fake. Anybody that's talking about that, it's fake. It's not just about getting a message from a guide. It's actually, how do I actually rewire my life so that it can heal from that trauma and actually align with those energies already within myself. And the other thing is a lot of people don't talk about this, but your spirit guides are within. Everything's within you. It's not outside of you. Every angel, every guide, every passed on relative, ancestor, pet, anyone that you've known in this lifetime or any other lifetime is not outside of you. It's not some outside source. It's within your own consciousness because you're never separate from it. So it's the perspective here is so different from somebody who's truly awake versus someone that's using this just as an identity that hasn't really done the work. You actually know how these things connect and integrate, which many of the fake healers do not. In fact, I would say probably all of them, or maybe a few of them might just be really good. They've read a lot of books and they've taken a lot of courses and they're really good at marketing. And maybe they were in marketing before they decided to be a healer and they're really good at presenting themselves. So this episode is not going to be soft. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be carefully curated for social media. I am not a fan of that. I'm all about raw. I'm all about sharing the raw stuff, the stuff that people don't want to talk about, because the reason why I want to talk about it is because it needs to be heard. You need the information, and we need to stop living as fake. And you're not, because you're listening to this podcast and this episode, you were drawn to it. But I'm on a mission to wake up the people that I'm here to help. And my gift is that I'm very authentic and straightforward. And that ruffles a lot of feathers, and it has for a lot of years with people. And I used to think something was wrong with me. And now I know it's just in my coding, it's in my soul DNA. And this is what I'm here for, is to say things that people don't want to say. And the real truth is, if you are someone that really is living in your authenticity, you probably are going to be pissing some people off, because there's not enough people fully awake or truly awake or waking up who are actually going to be, a lot of them are not going to be ready for the truth. Okay. So the truth seekers here, I'm definitely a truth seeker, a truth conveyor, a truth sharer. And so we're going to be talking about some stuff that's probably, like I said, going to ruffle some feathers. And that truth is going to be about the fake healers and how they're bypassing the true healing, as well as creating these businesses of fake identities to satisfy their very own insecurities. And that's interesting. Their very own insecurities. They have gotten into this business because, or business in quotes, because they want to convey, just like spiritual narcissism, like many organized religions over the years have very narcissistic tendencies in their operation. And again, stating this is not everybody. And I feel this is why so many people are turned off by a lot of religions, because it does feel very controlling, external, and narcissistic. And so the same thing is happening in the spiritual community. It's just transitioning over into something else of that, oh, look at me. I am pure and I'm doing all the right things and I look really good and people respect me. And but really on the inside, they're completely insecure and dead. And they're really about manipulating people in a way that is making themselves feel better, and they're very judgmental. And I have to state this, what I'm stating to you is I'm not judging them. This is sharing with you about educating you and empowering you to protect your own energy of what's sacred. I'm guiding you and always take what resonates, that learning to tap and tune into your intuition and not go against it, even when it doesn't make sense, because your energy is the most sacred asset that you have. And when you are going against it and you're continuing to consume content, or you're around people that are harvesting your energy, or they don't have the best intentions in mind, which most of these fake healers do. I would say all of them. If you're a fake healer, you do not have the best intentions in mind. You're jealous of other people. You're trying to shine your light brighter than other people. You don't want people to actually rise, that could be very gifted themselves. Everyone's gifted, actually. Everyone is powerful. Everyone on this earth is powerful. And we're all from the same source. You want the spiritual village. I'm going to talk about that in a second, which I cannot stand that. The spiritual village. But you wouldn't want anybody to be above you. You want to be the one that everyone is looking up to, which is spiritual narcissism. And the reason why that is because it's not coming from a place of being a leader. It's coming from a place of being seen as a leader without actually doing the work, because of being so insecure internally that particular energy. And I think of these people as energy collectives. I don't really look at people as being a separate identity, that they're part of energy collectives. They're choosing a vibrational frequency, which is a dimension essentially. So energy collectives, they're wrapped up, it's a ton of them, likes attract likes kind of thing. And they are choosing the energy of that I will be your leader, but with stipulations here. Just as long as you don't bypass me, I will be your healer. I will be your guide until we get to a place when you've healed so much that no, now I want to disempower you, because now I don't want you to be better than me. These are the kind of things that you have to watch out for. And that's pure narcissism. And that's why I say spiritual narcissism, because these fake healers are spiritual narcissists. And whether they realize it or not, whether they're conscious of it or not, I'm always paying attention to people's true intentions. People can say one thing, but I'm reading your energy. I'm looking at your subconscious mind. I'm seeing what sort of body language you have. I'm reading you in photos. I can see your aura. I can see what's going on. I can see the pain behind your eyes. It's when you know how to read body language, you know how to read energy. It's so easy to pick up on this stuff. They can't hide behind it. And it's only going to get stronger because the way that the energy collective, the universe, the way that we are going in our evolution, especially here on Earth, is there's so many souls coming in now, these new age Earth kids that we call them, is they are so coded for very, very high evolution of bringing the human collective into a much higher level of thinking and consciousness, that they're continuing to come in and they're exposing the fake healers. They're exposing them. They are going to fall. If they're not doing the work, they are going to fall. And many of these people, they could be saying things under their breath when you are in some of your most tender moments. It's happened to me. And very vulnerable spaces in my life. And these people that supposedly were healers and psychics and coaches and therapists, and the things that people have said to me, or the energies that they have portrayed around me, and it's been very under their breath, like to the point that they're not really outright saying it to you, but giving you enough information that you can read that they're not being nice to you. That happens a lot too with a lot of these fake healers. And I have to say, since I'm on the subject of psychics, that there are many psychics that are very gifted, but they're not energetically aligned. Their intentions are not good. And they also have the ability to see your power. And that has happened to me several times, that I have been around other psychics before I really knew how powerful I was, and that they actually were very intimidated by the power that I hold and were trying to intimidate me, just making you feel small on purpose, because they knew that you were in a vulnerable state and that you really hadn't fully come into understanding how powerful you are, but they could see it. And they wanted to make you feel insecure so that you would continue to not be fully in your power. That is not a healer. That is also spiritual narcissism. And this is what I'm saying, is just because someone's a psychic and they are very gifted. For example, I'm using the term psychic. I'm not a fan of the psychic word. I actually prefer intuitive medium, because people hear psychic and they think fortune teller. And that's actually bullshit. I don't actually believe that that's real. I think we create our own realities. Of course, someone can, like myself, see into your energy field and give you a snapshot of things where you are energetically, of where you could be headed. But to actually be able to tell you your future, I think it's bullshit, because you create your own reality. And if you believe what they're telling you, just like the placebo effect, if we believe that our body is doing something, then it most likely is going to react in that way. It's the same thing, because it's all creating reality. Just like with your body, it's responding to the mind and responding to the energies and the thoughts, and really how that all is coming together. And so your reality, psychic energies are reality coming into fruition. And so if you believe something that someone tells you, then chances are you're probably going to manifest that. And the other thing is that I've seen this a lot over the years, that some of these healers and intuitive readers and psychics will tell people things they should not be telling them, like so and so is going to die, and you're going to get cancer, and you're going to have a miscarriage, or like, don't tell people things like that. First of all, if you're someone getting reading and someone says that kind of stuff to you, run, go away, don't ever talk to them again. If you're talking to a medical intuitive, which I'm a medical intuitive, then I have a way of communicating things with people so that I can guide them to go get the medical help that they need if I feel that there is something that should be investigated and looked at, but I would never tell somebody flat out, you have cancer. I would never say that. I would never tell somebody that they're going to die, because that's just it goes against spirit code of ethics, I would call it. And it's not empowering. We're, as healers, we're here to empower the people that come to us, to help guide them in a way that if there is something going on that could be more on that side of something very serious like that, you could guide them in a way so that they could make a different choice, or they could figure it out on their own. Or possibly, if you do see some sort of disease in the body like cancer, if you're medical intuitive, that you are helping to guide them to the resources that they need and what you're saying to them. Because when someone's coming for a intuitive reading, they're so vulnerable and open. They're listening to everything that you're saying like a sponge. They need help, and that's why they came to see you. And so it's important to remember that these fake healers, again, like I said, psychics, guides, healers, and also a big one, motivational speakers. I can't tell you how many motivational speakers I've come across that are so fake. And they sound really good, and they are so fake. And I can see right through them, and I would not listen to them talk for free. I wouldn't. I would not listen. I'm so careful about what I consume and listen to. But I am here to tell you the truth. And I am here to help you remember yours. And in speaking the truth, this is ruffling some feathers, and I don't care. And it is okay. I don't care, because I'm not here for the people that don't want to listen to what I have to say. I'm here for you that's listening to this, that needs this information and needs this truth. And probably there's someone that's saying, I wish more people were talking about this, because I've been feeling this too. And I've been feeling maybe I was being too hard on so and so, or why was I not listening to my intuition? You need this information. That's why I created this episode, because I felt an intuitive pull to create this, because there's people that need to hear this, as well as this is why I created this entire podcast, is to share my own life experiences as well as clients' experiences that I've had professionally, but just talking about stories as well as lots of different areas of focus that I focus on and helping you with. So the truth needs to be shared, and you deserve to know what really is a fake healer and what do they look like. So let's start off with saying this. Fake healing is easy to market, but hard to live through. This is very powerful if you think about that. You can easily remember what I said. You can be great at sales and great at marketing and great at the image and great at being an actor and playing this. But have you really lived it? Have you really lived the transformation, like the deep, dark, ugly transformation? Probably 99% of the people out there that call themselves healers have not actually lived it, okay? I'm talking about a very small percent of the population that have actually went into the dark. I'm talking about the deep dark, pulling yourself through hell and through the flames and building yourself back up. And I've had several spiritual awakenings, not just one. And that is truly how you heal. And it is not pretty. So the fake healers, I love this part. And I'll tell you why. Because it's all about image. It's all about wearing the right clothes, having the singing bowls, taking a weekend Reiki course, and then they know how to speak the right language. Because, like I said, very good at marketing, and they're posting these gorgeous quotes and perfectly curated photo shoots of themselves on Instagram, as if healing were some fashion show or identity or something. But behind the scenes, they're totally disconnected from their own shadow and absolutely afraid of your power. So afraid of your power. If anyone's afraid of your power, they are not a healer. They have not done the work. Because if you truly have done the work, you know that everybody's powerful. You don't worry about someone outshining you. No one can take away your light. So anyone that's like that, they're not truly authentic. It's a sure way to know who's authentic and who's not. This is why you have to listen to your intuition. So here are some things that you can look out for. They may say things like everything happens for a reason when you're in crisis. It's like a that love and light thing. Oh, everything happens for a reason when you're in a crisis. No, that's not how this works. And they also want to push you to forgiveness before you actually feel safe. Oh, just get over it. It's okay. Love and light. They also try to disempower you with comments like, oh, you're just too sensitive. Have you meditated on it? No. Anyone ever saying you're too sensitive is a narcissist. They're a manipulator. They're gaslighting you. Okay. And they secretly gossip about others. And then they say they're just observing it or observing things. Here's the thing. If someone's gossiping about someone else, especially if you both know that person or group of people, they're gossiping about you when you're not around. They're not real, they're fake. And if, for example, you have a friend or something that is going through a lot of stuff and you guys are trying to figure out how to help her or him through something and you're having a conversation and there's an action plan in place to help, that's one thing. We have to have tough conversations. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about gossiping about other people. Where I live in Colorado, and it is a spiritual portal here. And it's probably not as strong as like places like Sedona, but and maybe places in Oregon too. But it is a spiritual portal here, and it attracts so many spiritual people. I'm from Chicago, and I will tell you that I've met more people in the area that I live in that are narcissistic spiritualism than I've ever met in my life. And they all talk about each other. They talk about each other behind their backs, and it's crazy to me. And I had to completely cut the vibe, cut my energy off because it got to be so overwhelming and it was so fake that it just and I didn't even really at the time I was pretty new to the area and I was trying to network and connect with people. And this has happened more than once. It's been with more than one group of people. And I this is how I know to tell you this is that I would go back and forth and say, "Oh, they're nice. They have a lot of likes. They have a lot of followers. They wrote a book. They're a motivational speaker. Oh, there's all these people that like them." And I would start to think that there was something wrong with me, that I was being hard on them. And I had to make the decision to listen to my intuition and walk away. And it's really hard to do that when you're actually unsure of totally why you're feeling that it doesn't resonate with you. But after I walked away and really did some healing work on why I was going back and forth on it, what I realized is that my intuition was right all along. That there's a ton of fake people where I live, these fake healers, because this is a spiritual portal here where I live. And it just naturally attracts these fake healers. And I actually came to this area to not directly uh, heal, but indirectly, me just being in this area to help heal because there's so much fake here. And there's people in this area that need my energy because I'm very authentic. I mean, obviously, you're listening to this podcast, and I'm not afraid to say things that need to be said. I don't need likes and followers. I don't need to be liked and have my spiritual village. Of course, do I love it when people like yourself listen to my podcast and are moved by what I talk about, and it helps you to become closer into the power, awakening the power already within you. Yes, absolutely. That's why I do it. But I'm not doing this for recognition. I'm doing this because I like to do it. And that's the difference between someone that's actually healed versus someone that is a fake healer, because fake healers are doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it and it's part of my purpose. Very, very different energy. Also, they can act like your friend, but you can feel them looking you up and down when they think you can't see. Oh my gosh, I've seen so much of this. And if people are judging you by the clothes that you're wearing, or maybe if you're a little bit insecure or shy, by the car that you drive, or whether you're in a relationship or not, or I'm just talking about like really petty stuff that I notice. And also, they crave acceptance from likes, follows, groupies, and like I already stated, the spiritual village. And then secretly are not about community at all. It's about conditional, that I stated before, that I will support you, but you cannot outshine me. And the only reason that they want this community is to feed their emptiness on the inside of the recognition, because they can't even get it from themselves, because they've not faced their own darkness and shadow in their healing work. So they're always looking for external acceptance. And this would be exactly why someone would they would act like they're here to support you. But the moment that you actually really shine really bright and they feel that you are shining brighter than them, they don't like you anymore. Or they try to get it where you don't actually ever get to that point, because they're so empty on the inside. This is another way that you can tell. They also can make you feel like you're not high vibe enough if you're grieving, angry, or feel like you want to break down. This is something that I see in the manifestation community, and this is another thing to talk about, is that there are so many coaches, and after 2020 so many people didn't go back to work. Not saying again that every healer or coach does not know what they're doing. Absolutely, there's some very gifted people out there that have great intentions and they have great integrity and they're authentic and they've done the work. But there's so many coaches and it's so oversaturated, and many of them are not good and they really don't know what they're talking about. And there's so many manifestation coaches and they all talk about positivity. And I'm hearing a lot lately about people talking about choosing a different timeline and acting as if it didn't happen. And you have to feel your emotions. You have to feel it. You have to sit in it. You cannot bypass it. You didn't come here and to have this physical experience as a human to just bypass the emotions. That's why you have so many emotions. And that's why we're coded with certain things. We're born into certain situations because we're learning something from that, as well as ancestral trauma, breaking patterns. You can't just not feel your emotions. You can't just say, well, it didn't happen. I'm just going to choose a different timeline. And by no means am I saying that we sit in our pain forever and keep recreating that cycle. That's not what this is about. But you have to feel your emotions to be able to create a new cycle. You have to feel your emotions because your body remembers. Your body is somatic. And remembering that if you had a lot of trauma, you might have a lot of upper body tightness. Or if you have fear around your finances, you have a lot of pain in your low back. Your body is actually speaking to you. Or somebody that may have been in a very abusive relationship or had an abusive boss, for example, could have tinnitus or tinnitus, whatever you call it, whichever you prefer. Either way is fine, because ringing in the ears is inflammation. And what does suppressing emotions do? It creates inflammation. So you can't not pay attention to these things. The whole high vibe shit is bullshit. You have to feel what's going on. And this is about the divine feminine. Divine feminine is the darkness. It's going into the places that you don't want to go because they're painful. You have to feel it. And even in fertility, that women, for example, will put resentment in their uterus and then will have trouble conceiving because the resentment is there and it's making it so life can't actually come to fruition. And fertility is not just about having babies, it's also about creating projects. It's also about being comfortable in your sexuality. It's the creative energies of creation. And so if there's a lot of resentment there in the womb space, and remembering the uterus is there, but the womb is also, men have a womb as well in a different sense. It's an energy portal of creation. It's an energetic part of you. It's a chakra. It's the sacral chakra, which is an energy center. And so if that is blocked because of resentment, well, then you're going to have a hard time being in the fertility energies of creation and whatever it is, creating a business, finding a partner, feeling more in alignment with your sexuality or your creative energies, your sensuality, because of this energy that's there, because it keeps getting pushed down. And it will keep getting pushed down if you're listening to people talking about be positive all the time, high vibe, love and light. It's bullshit. They don't know what they're talking about. So be very careful of what you're consuming. Your subconscious mind is absorbing it and does not know the difference between what's real and fake. So if you're listening to fake healers talk about stuff that they don't know what they're talking about because they're talking out their ass, then what that means is your subconscious mind is internalizing this and it's believing it to be real. So everything is not about love and light. It is in reality, it's about feeling it. You got to sit in it. You got to get in the dark. You just got to do it. I mean, maybe that's why as a culture we're taught to be afraid of the dark. I don't know. I've thought about that before. Why are we afraid of the dark? And some people will say because it used to be that humans would be attacked at night because that's when the bears come out and the predators and things like that. And some spiritual people will say that's when the evil spirits come out. I don't believe any of that. Everything is about what you choose to believe, by the way. So that's why this is so important to make sure that you're consuming content from energies that have your best interest in mind and actually know what they're talking about, how to help you to awaken the power within and want you to be powerful versus only want you to feel powerful listening to them. And then when you actually do become awakened with the power of you within yourself, that then they're not liking you too much anymore because now they feel you've outshined them. That is not a healer. So this whole love and light, probably most of the people saying that are actually throwing daggers at you when you got your back turned because they're so threatened by the actual light that you are, and what you hold intimidates them so bad on so many levels because they see your power and you haven't quite seen it yet, or maybe you do know it and you are someone that's like in a position like me where you have awakened to it and you just kind of laugh now because you know what sort of energy collective they're vibing on and you don't take it personally. But if you're not aware of that yet, most likely that's what's happening is they're intimidated by your light and they're throwing energy daggers at you when your back is turned. I guess you could call it the evil eye. You want people to feel excited for you when you're rising and when you're healing and when you're actually doing the work, and that are supporting you in your ugly moments as well and are not judging you for it. That's what you need. And again, this fake energy that these fake healers have is because why they're throwing daggers at you is because they're intimidated by your energy, but also they hide behind this power that's fake. And the power really is the motivational speaker, being on the stage, the spiritual community, the spiritual village. And another thing that's really powerful to note is they overcharge, underdeliver, and leave you feeling more broken than before. And I want to add to this because many of these healers don't even charge enough. So that's also something to be careful of. You get what you pay for, but at the same time, if it's overcharging and you're not getting anything out of it, use your discernment, use your intuition to be able to know if this is really what you're in alignment with. Please always do that. You're the one that's going to know best. But a lot of these healers don't charge enough too. So I'm not going to say that all of them are overcharging, but a lot of healers have this mindset that because they're a healer that they don't have to charge. Like they charge minimal rates, or they're very competitive with each other. And that's also a sign that they haven't done the healing work. Because when you've done the healing work, you charge based on what your value is. And if you don't value yourself, then there could be something there that you need to pay attention to, that you need to figure out of why you're not charging more. So this is all of this is not healing, it's spiritual bypassing, and the whole divine goddess community, that is a whole nother thing, is absolutely ridiculous. And why am I saying this? Because the divine feminine is nothing about softness when you're healing. After healing, it is. But it's about darkness and rage and anger and unknown mystery, confusion, and the power of pushing over anything that gets in its way. So that doesn't sound very much like softness, okay? And it's interesting to note because we think of rage and anger as the masculine. Absolutely, it's the masculine. It's the planet of Mars, which is a planet of sex and destruction. But the feminine is also rage and anger too. The feminine is about the emotions and really getting in touch with your emotions and those deep, dark depth places within yourself. And so to say that the feminine is not any of those things, anyone that's saying that doesn't know what they're talking about. Because the feminine is very much about going into all of the emotions. And people talk of softness, and I am going to agree with this that the feminine is absolutely about softness, but not when you're healing. You can't be soft. What do you mean? Going into the feminine, going into the depths of yourself and into the mystery and unknown places, thinking that you have to be soft? No. You have to be a warrior, someone that has armor on because you're going to get hit with stuff within yourself that's going to be painful and it's going to be dark and it's going to be ugly. So that doesn't sound like softness to me at all. So this whole vibe of like, oh, the I'm a goddess, I'm divine feminine, wearing the costumes and the whole social media and dressing up and playing the part. Oh my gosh, it's absolute fucking bullshit. And I see this again so much on social media. Social media is just another phase of high school. That's really what it is. And people hide behind these fake identities just to feel like they're worthy, to get the likes and to feel the recognition. It's just like high school or college. It's exactly the same thing. Humans really haven't evolved that much. And there are people that are more people waking up than ever before. So I'm not going to say that there are not people waking up, but as far as a collective, as a big collective of humanity, really hasn't woken up too much. Because social media proves that to you. It's so ridiculous. I just laugh at it. I'm on social media for my business and to reach people like you who are listening to Intuitive Mind Lab Radio or listening or consuming any of my content, reading my books, my blogs, anything I'm helping to align you with the highest version of yourself, awaken your power within. I'm doing it for you. I am not doing it to try to get recognition. I'm doing it to reach the people that I have been put here to awaken. We have soul contracts, and I'm part of helping you awaken. So that's why I'm on social media, and it can be fun. It can be fun to look at things. I prefer TikTok. I learn an awful lot on TikTok. I think TikTok is less fake than Instagram is, for example. Instagram and Facebook. I mean, if I could just say, like, Facebook is for the older crowd. I think a lot of people that like to complain. Instagram is very fake. I feel it's just all about look at me and look at my beautiful life that actually is not even real. And TikTok's more raw. I feel people can say more on there. There's more freedom of speech. So that's my own interpretation. But the universe and the collective consciousness, like I stated earlier, is exposing the fakes. And soon they're no longer going to be able to hide without doing this shadow work. And this stuff is painful, like I stated. And anyone who is not going through a massive shift right now, they're fake. Anybody that's going on about the love and light right now is fake, because there's nothing about what's been going on, especially the last 2 or 3 years, that is about love and light. There's nothing. This energy collective, our consciousness has been splitting into different dimensions. Probably heard people talk about 3D, 4D, and 5D. And it's been happening. And it's been happening since like 2012, maybe even before that. But it really started happening in the last few years. And anyone that's talking about love and light, they're not doing the work because they wouldn't talk like that. I'm here to be raw. I'll be raw with you. I have had crazy awakenings the last few years. And it has been confusing and isolating and painful. But I've always had this voice within that says, we got to keep going. You can do this. You've been coded for this. And I know that there is a lot of people listening to this that feel that, and that's why you're here. And so people that are not feeling that, they're fake. If they're calling themselves healers and they're not feeling that, they're fake. Because they're not hitting it head on of what we are supposed to be evolving into right now with how the energy is shifting and has been. And you're going to feel it if you're someone that is really attuned and open to your growth. You're going to feel it. And you're not a fake if you're feeling it. So, well, like I say, the energy is absolutely off the charts and you know it. You've been feeling it. And like we've already talked about, this love and light is pure bullshit. It's pure shit. And I'm absolutely tired of it. And that's why I'm here. I'm sharing this with you because I'm on a mission to unite the awakened creators like yourself and to share the truth, the hard truth, the things that people don't want to talk about. And there are going to be other things that I'm going to talk about as well in other episodes, not just about the fake healers, but helping you to feel like you're not alone and you're not crazy for thinking certain things, that you're not alone in the sense that you're not being judgmental or you're not being too hard on people, or you're not the only one out there that's feeling these energies. There are people that are awake like myself that are feeling these energies and totally get you feeling it as well. So how these fake healers are really harming, well, it's interesting because when we focus on ourselves and we're really doing the work, we're helping the entire collective. But when people are being fake and unauthentic, what they're really doing is they're continuing to keep their own darkness circulating as they're projecting it onto other people. And people like empaths that have this amazing light could possibly be what I call an energy graveyard, where you actually are absorbing their dead energy. And if you feel tired or disempowered or get a stomach ache or get a headache or feel just, you just don't know why you feel the way that you feel when you're around certain people or you're consuming certain content or you're listening to certain music or you're reading someone's book or you're reading their blog, or stop consuming it, because your body is trying to tell you, because remembering that your body is a messenger from the soul, is trying to tell you that whatever you're aligning with is draining your energy, and that's why you're feeling that way. So they're continuing to circulate this dead energy that is harmful to the energy collective. It never pays to be fake and unauthentic. I don't care if you think you're getting away with it or not. The universe knows and your soul knows. So you're not really getting away with it. You're continuing a loop of misery within yourself is essentially what's happening. So these fake healers may look helpful, but here's what they often do. They'll use trauma to feed their own validation. So they might be really interested in your trauma just so that they can kind of get like an inside ear, or, kind of what's going on with you. Learn about your trauma so that then they can place an evil eye on you. And what that could be like is then when you are not with them anymore, they might go think about, like if you say you go have coffee with them or something, or you're around, or you get an energy session with them or whatever, and then you leave and they know about your vulnerabilities, they might place an evil eye on you by thinking about you after you leave. Like, oh my gosh, she's so pathetic. Like, why did she choose that? I would never do anything like that. I'm so much better. Like, I'm so glad that I'm this and blah, 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 blah. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, is getting an inside ear on what's going on with you so that they can create their own validation that they're better than you internally, which is called an evil eye. That's a form of an evil eye. So you don't want that. You don't want to be around people like that. You want to be around people that are excited about you and the things that are going well as are there for you when you are in a place of darkness and trauma, and not using that against you to have their own personal gains. And a lot of times, these energies, when this is happening, it's all done inside of someone as the evil eye. It's not like they're necessarily saying anything to you, they could be, but a lot of times it's just by their thoughts. Another one, I already talked about this, but the pressure to be positive when you actually need to feel your grief and your emotions. Don't you hate that shit? When people are like, just be positive. It's okay. Everything has a reason. Just be positive. It's like you want to freaking throw your phone at them and say, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, shut up. And hey, that anger is valid. Don't throw your phone at them. Absolutely. We don't do violence. But your energy and your soul and your body all wants to get away from them. That's why you feel that way, because they're not aligned. They haven't done the work, because if they had really done the work, they would never say anything like that to you, because they would know what it's like to be on the other side of the fence where you're at. So that's how you know. So also, they tend to sell the one size fits all methods and actually really ignoring your nervous system. And I talked about this before, but many of these healers have no idea about the nervous system. It's just all love and light and crystals and singing bowls. And, it's very interesting how people, they will play these identities, but they don't even think it through while they're doing certain actions themselves, that this really doesn't align with what I'm preaching. You can't be someone that helps people through working through their subconscious mind and their shadow if you yourself haven't gotten over your own. That's a moron. It doesn't make any sense. And also, the love and light to silence your legitimate anger. Anger is actually a higher vibration, believe it or not, than shame and guilt. And the reason why it's higher is because anger is actually giving you the opportunity to realize that you're tired of something and you're no longer going to feel guilty or shameful about it, because you're angry enough to make a change. And so anger is a very actually good emotion to have. We definitely don't want to hurt other people and use violence or anything like that. But if you feel angry about something, you need to feel angry about it. Scream, punch the pillow, cry, let the emotions out. And if it happens several times as you're working through something, you have to let yourself feel those emotions. There's absolutely nothing shameful about you allowing yourself to feel legitimate anger. And we're taught to ignore our emotions, and it is so sad. And I'm here to help you to understand that you have to feel it. And I cannot say that enough. So it can be very spiritually confusing. And some of these fake healers are just re traumatizing you over and over and over again when they're trying to send the message that they're helping you, and they're not. And some of them are consciously aware of what they're doing. And some of them might not be quite yet. I'm not saying that everyone that's a fake healer is necessarily guilty, that they're intentionally doing things, but I think a lot of them are. I think a lot of them are very aware that they're fakes and they're not legit. Because it's really about honoring your truth rather than trying to spiritualize your silence. And so this is where the re-traumatizing comes in, when it's trying to basically make you feel like you shouldn't feel a certain way, or you can't be authentic, or ignore your feelings around me. I'm so popular. Everyone loves me. You should too, kind of thing. So let's talk about what a real healer can look like. And here's the truth: healing is not a cute concept, as you already know, and it's definitely not Instagrammable in trying to get attention or validation. Real healing, I'm going to go over some points here. Saying no before you're ready, feeling rage and letting it move, deeply listening to your body's yes and no, not overriding it for anyone's comfort, knowing you're still healing even when you're messy, angry, or unsure. That is something that I see a lot, and that's why I don't like the guru Word, because I feel that if you ever get to a place where you think that you're done and you just know everything, you absolutely are not healed. And I'm not saying every guru is like that, but I think that we're all healing constantly. And as far as what I have learned from spirit, that we are not even done when we're on that side either, because energy is continuing to grow and flow, and we're never done growing. You could be messy and angry and deeply unsure of things more than one time in your life, and it's accepting that and letting it flow through you. And also taking your body seriously when it says, I can't do this, I can't keep doing this. And what that could translate into is that if you're over giving and you're not receiving back, and that happens a lot with empaths that are not awakened yet to their power. And you can see this where you might be giving a lot to a fake healer that's taking your energy, and it could even be through money, but not really giving you anything tangible in return. But you keep going because you think that because other people like them that they're helping you. So again, tuning into your intuition, tuning into your body, and really paying attention to these things, as well as clearing people out of your life who are fake and draining your energy, doing less and not more, resting without apology, listening to your intuition, even if it means not being liked. Oh my gosh, that's a really big one. Being so in alignment with yourself that no one's opinion could ever shake your alignment. It's truly knowing who you are. And when you truly know who you are, again, we're going back to you don't need a village. You don't need external validation because you already know who you are. So no one's going to shake that alignment. Sitting in the discomfort of unknowing without trying to spiritualize it. So sometimes we don't need an answer for things. We just have to be aware that it's there and sit in it and let it move through us. Getting validation and love from yourself and feeling that is enough without the outside needing to feed your ego. And isolation and feeling grateful for the outside noise being silenced. That is such a powerful one. And real healing doesn't always feel good, but it creates a truth that is ready to set you free. And life is not about roses and cupcakes. It just is not. You didn't come here for that. Essentially, to break it down into condensed version that is easy to understand is that you came here to remember who you are in a physical reality that has something called the ego and patterning that gets in the way to try to fool you into thinking that you're something that you're not. And so we have to go into places to find that truth within. And I'm going to say always, you're going to create situations where people are not going to like you, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be a truth seeker as well as a truth speaker, because you are not going to find your freedom by allowing yourself to continue to play it small. It just isn't going to happen. And healing is sacred, slow, layered, and personal. It's not a temple, it's a return to truth of your own body and soul. And so, how do we spot a real healer? What is your intuition and discernment telling you? That's how you find the trust. That's how you know if you can trust them or not. But here are some points of what you want to look out for. And sometimes people can have these qualities and still not be real. So you want to make sure that you always listen to your discernment, to your intuition. That is the only 100% way to know. By the way, your intuition is right 100% of the time. There might be like less than 1% of time that you might not be right, but it is so few and far between to have your intuition be right like literally 100% of the time. We have to listen to it. And the more that you can develop that, and the only way you develop it is you start listening to your intuition, by your gut feelings, tuning into your body, listening to your truth, then you get really good at it and it's completely embodied. It's always been there. It's just that you've forgotten it through the human conditioning. So, what does a real healer look like? Here's some qualities. They don't sell your worth, they help you discover it. This goes back to what I was talking about, people that are not intimidated by your light or they're not intimidated by your trauma. They don't talk about you, they don't judge you. They also are probably going to listen more than they're going to speak. But I'm going to say, someone like myself, I like to talk a lot and I channel. But some of my clients really like it when I share a lot of that information. So if somebody does speak a lot, I don't want you to think that they're not a healer. It could just be they're trying to share a lot of information with you because they're excited, but also definitely someone that's listening to you and taking into account your ideas and your emotions and things that you need if you're working with someone. As well as they're going to hold space without trying to fix you. So they're going to listen to you and they're going to give you the best ways to maybe tackle something or to give you ways to work through something, but they're not trying to fix you. They know that you are the one that has to actually do it, that they're just here as a guide to help you. And also, they're going to name their own shadow and honor yours and talk about experiences that they've had in their own healing journey. I think that's really powerful as well. I'm an open book with people. I share so much stuff because I want you to know that I'm human too, and I'm growing, and you're growing, and we're all evolving. And also, we can learn so much from each other and our experiences, and it can become very magnetic. So, share yours as well. And they also don't want to shame you for your grief, your rage, or your trauma. They're here to support and uplift you. And they're not afraid of your mess. They're not selling you just love and light. And they're walking beside you in the dark. And again, not judging you. I think if someone is judging you for any of this, they're not really truly a healer. They're a fake. So it's something to look out for. So if you ever feel that, don't go against that. That is your intuition telling you that this is not your vibe. So, healing isn't aesthetic. It is not a rebrand. Absolutely not. This is not a marketing project. It's the moment your body says no more. It's the night you cry so hard your voice shakes loose from silence. It's the rage you were told to suppress. It's the quiet you earned after the storm. And if you're in this storm right now, please hear this. You're not broken. You are not too much. And you are not behind. You are exactly right on time. And your healing is holy and it's sacred. And please allow yourself to heal because you deserve to heal. You deserve to feel it. It's part of the experience and we don't want to suppress it. Definitely reach out to the people to support you, the resources, the books, the podcast, the people that you really resonate with. Absolutely connect with all of that. And most importantly, connect with yourself because you are the most important person in your life. And if this episode resonates with you, please share it with someone who needs to know they're not alone. And also hit that follow button and leave us a review. We love the love, but most of all, we're united with you, the awakened infinite creator that you are. And until next time, stay curious, stay focused, and be the most awakened you because you deserve real healing, truth, and peace.